for tuning into my channel. To get me some cup of tea, damn me, know what I'm saying. Anyway, you're tuning into Make Me Your Wife episode. Today I want to talk about single versus relationship. Being single is great. It is a time to know yourself, learn yourself, discover what you like about yourself and what you don't like about yourself. You discover who you would like to spend plenty of time with and who you wouldn't want to spend any time with. It's also a time to just develop yourself as a person. If you don't know how to cook, you learn how to cook for yourself. You learn how to take care of yourself. Especially being single and living alone is even better, because you learn the responsibilities of taking care of your own house. You learn the responsibilities of you have to pay your bills. You learn the responsibility of managing yourself and managing and planning your own money. And one of the downfalls about being in a relationship is finance. So you learn how to take care of the things that you might not necessarily have been taught when living at home with your mum and dad, because they do that. They're the ones taking care of the rent, the bills, etc. When you're living alone, you have to learn to do that. And when you're being single, you have to learn how to manage that. So when someone comes into your home that is your partner, then you know the conversations that you need to talk about when it comes to the point where you want to settle down together and move in together, get married, all that stuff. Those are things that you will learn what needs to be done in the house. Like you learn how to split your roles and responsibility. So I believe being single is fantastic, but even being single when living outside of your family home, even better. And when living even alone without housemates, even better, because you learn to interact with yourself. And I think a lot of the problems that people have is they do not have a relationship with themselves. It is very important that you are comfortable in your own space, comfortable being alone, comfortable in your own company. That running of seeking other things to keep you company doesn't really teach you about learning to be a single individual, a single entity. A lot of people are single, but they live life through their friends and family, and they have to constantly be in around people. That's a problem, because then you find yourself being dependent on people, and maybe even things, and maybe even the wrong things like drugs, alcohol, smoking, etc. So if you are that type of person who, even if you're single, you find yourself dependent on stuff, you really need to work on that. And I would suggest you do some sort of counseling, because sometimes those habits are not breakable easily on one accord if you don't have that self-discipline to say no and learning to say yes to yourself. Being in a relationship is fantastic because it teaches you to learn to work with someone, learn to communicate with someone, learn to compromise on things that you may not necessarily want to compromise, but because of wanting to have peace and wanting to be in accordance with one another, and because you love that person, you have to learn to compromise. And being in a relationship is fantastic because it teaches you resilience, it teaches you patience, it teaches you perseverance. Because boy, there'll be things that you and the other individual you'll be heated on, and you're just not like seeing eye to eye. For me, single versus relationship, being single has been fantastic. It has been exactly what the doctor ordered for me, and it's exactly the medicine I need and needed in my life, because I was the girl who was always in a relationship. Like, I am 31 and my first proper relationship was when I was 18, and since being 18 I only recall being single for a very long time twice. Currently, and one of my previous relationships, I've taken about a year and a half off. So, and maybe even 2. But I'm constantly in a relationship, and even with that relationship that I'd said I'd taken a break, there was someone in my life. He wasn't my boyfriend, but he was the guy that took me out on dates. I talked to him all the time, so he just didn't have the title. But this is a period, this recent breakup, I have stayed for 1 whole year, being fully single, not going on dates, not talking to anyone. The second part of me being single, I've gone on dates. I've seen some people for a length of time and then it just didn't work out. But I have really enjoyed this period more because I am in the point of, if the relationship I want to get into, I'm in a different space because I want different things. Because settling down is actually at my utmost priority. Being someone's wife is at my utmost priority. Being a mother is at my utmost priority. So the person that I am now is very different to the person that was getting into relationships before. However, you know, like before I would get into relationships because I want to get into a relationship, but I never thought, oh yeah, I'll be married. Like, this is the one, we'll date for like a year, then get married, etc., etc., have kids. That's something that I thought along the way as we got to know each other. It wasn't my initial priority. Now it is my initial priority. So being single has made me identify who I am, what I desire in myself, rather what I desire, not in myself, what I desire for myself, and what I desire from the person that I'm gonna hopefully spend the rest of my life with. Being in a relationship for me is something I prefer. Yes, I've enjoyed being single and it's been fantastic, but I prefer being in a relationship. I prefer having someone I can spend quality time with, having someone that I can talk to, having someone that I can just have a chilled out plan and we can just sit and talk, drink wine, eat good food, eat bad food. Just someone who can listen to my nonsense and my stupidity, and someone who I can share and develop ideas with, someone who we can even develop ideas together and build something together. So for me, I prefer being in a relationship because I prefer those kind of connections with someone that I could potentially be my husband and the father of my children, and so on. So being single has been fantastic, but being in a relationship is more me. So, but what I've learnt is don't be single for too long, because being single is actually a very comfortable place to be. You can just, because you're so used to your own space, you're so used to not having to say to someone, I'm going out with the girls, or I'm going out with my boys, you know, like, and then coming out wee hours of the morning, or not at all because you crash at your friend's house or what have you. So being, finding yourself in a relationship after taking such a long break can be a bit challenging, because you have to now learn to accommodate this individual and involve them and include them in your life. And I believe when you're in a relationship, how you used to act when you weren't in a relationship kind of has to change. Like, you can't always go out. You can't always like be with your friends and not spending enough time with your partner. Those things kind of have to change, and unfortunately that's where friends start to feel like they're no longer part of their life, but they are. It's just that now you have to kind of, you know, grow this new thing, because I see relationships as someone who's had a baby and they have to look after and nurture it and spend a lot of time in that relationship until it can kind of stand on its own 2 feet, and it can have a bit more of what you used to have before, without not, like, it's finding a balance without not making your friends feel like you've neglected them and your family, and at the same time making this new person in you that you want to stay in your life be involved and not feel neglected, and in a sense, like, you know, they you wanna make them feel that you want them in your life, and that you want them to be a part of this journey that you're taking. So yes, be single, enjoy it, but more importantly, if you can find a way to move outside of your family home, and if you are single and you find yourself in that situation, it's perfect, it's great, because you will learn about other parts of life that really no individual can teach you. It's something that you really learn best practically. But don't be single for too long, because I feel, yes, there's certain individuals who have chosen a certain life where they prefer to be single for the rest of their lives for whatever reasons, be it either to do with religion or not to do with religion. That's something I think that's innate, but I feel like we were born to procreate, so we were born to be in relationships with people. So don't be single for too long. Enjoy it for what it is, but take what you've learned from that point and be open to being in a relationship, because you grow so much further in a relationship, because you learn about, all these things like compromising. You develop each other as individuals. You learn how to be patient even more and be tolerant even more, and which can not only help you in relationship but outside that. So for me, relationship wins every time. Being single is great and it's fun, but be careful not to be in it too long, because it's quite a comfortable space to be in. But yeah, so just enjoy being single, and when in a relationship, you need to learn to change who you are and what you used to do, and everything that you used to do when you're single has to now be in moderation, because it has to be about you and this new person in your life. Yeah. Ti amo!